to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Celebration Saturday. Welcome to February. February is for femininity. I am a huge proponent. This is the month of love. This is Healthy Heart Month. And if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. And who are you with all the time? Why? Oh, you're with yourself. So we're going to love up on ourselves this month. We're going to take a deep dive into our femininity. We're going to take a deep dive into loving ourselves, into self-care, into being good to us. And in particular, if you're going through any life transition, whether it's divorce, there's lots of layoffs going on in the world. If you're moving, if you are going through a career change, this is the perfect time. It might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually the perfect time to love up on yourself. So, yeah, I'm looking at, like, my hair is like, I didn't curl it. I'm going to the gym after this, guy. So I'm wearing gym gear today because from now on, this first and then going to the gym. What I was doing was working out and then doing these. So we're switching the paradigm in February, switching the order in February. I'm switching the order in February. So for you guys, I'm here an hour earlier so that I can get to the gym and get to my classes for doing that. So today, I'll let you guys, you cast a vote and tell me which class you think I should do, or should I just do my own thing? So I've got my coffee, plain cup today, because I was trying to cut back on the sugar. Since I haven't worked out, I haven't done anything. Usually what I do is get up and have water, which I have my water over here. And then I don't really have coffee until after my workout because I take a pre-workout and it's got a little caffeine in it. And so sometimes I don't even want the coffee. But today I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be talking. I don't have any coffee. Help me, please. Help me, please. So coffee. I did cut back on the sugar, though. We'll see how this goes. I'm not a fan of black coffee. I am a fan of black coffee from a health perspective. Intellectually, I'm a fan of black coffee, but I love my lattes and my cream and all of my supplements and whatnot that I put in here. And I love a good coffee with cream. So what is it? I'm coffee regular. Is that coffee with cream and sugar? Coffee, 2 creams, 2 sugar, coffee regular. I'm at least that, right? I'm actually probably more than that. For a long time, I was have some coffee with your cream and sugar. Anyway. This is cream with like a tablespoon of vanilla creamer. So it's plain cream, and then I put a little vanilla creamer in it, which for me, that's doing something, because I like my coffee like I like my men, sweet. Somebody's going to take that and run with it. But anyway, all right. So today we're going to talk about, it's Femininity Month. February is for femininity. I'm so stoked about this topic. This is such a fun topic. So before we get into anything, let me give a disclaimer. I'm talking about feminine energy. I'm not talking about your feminine brand. Feminine brand is the choices we make to express the energy that we feel. There are, any number of choices. You have all kinds of feminine brands. You've got athletic feminine brands like Serena Williams. You've got your glam feminine brands. That's your J-Lo's. You've got your kind of mom-like feminine brands, which I'm trying to think of a good one. Reese Witherspoon is good. She's a mother, but she's, she has her own expression of femininity, but she's about her family. You've got your very sexy feminine brands. Some people would put J-Lo into that category too. Maybe Halle Berry. I'm staying away from these younger performers because some of them I don't know. And Rihanna is probably another. She's probably maybe a good example of a sexy feminine brand, and she's a singer. So everybody's got their own version of what that looks like. There's professional feminine brands. One of my favorite, and then there's characters in movies. One of my favorite, probably my favorite, is the Thomas Crown Affair. I love her brand of femininity. It's really strong. It's a very strong feminine brand. I also like, what is her name? Femke Schwartz. She's been in a lot of things. She's known as the Phoenix in the X-Men series. She's been in, what is that movie called? The guy where he kidnaps his daughter. It escapes me. I should have wrote these down because my mind is a terrible thing to waste, and I can't remember. I have CRS disease big time, so I can't remember. I just can't remember it. Anyway, I think her name is Femke Schwartz. She's been in a lot of things. She's a very soft feminine brand. Another one like that would be if you saw Lord of the Rings, any of the elves in particular. Can't remember the lead one, but Iowan. She's another like very soft feminine brand. You can pick whoever you like to admire. I'm just trying to think of different styles to pull out. Some I like and appreciate. And then there's some that don't resonate with me. Lizzo has a particular feminine brand. She's very body positive. But she shows a lot of skin. She's done nude pictures of her, very body positive. That's another feminine brand. I admire Lizzo's courage for her feminine brand. I think that's very, very good, and her body positivity. Everybody has a different feminine brand or style. I'm not here to talk about that because that's an expression, and you are free to express your femininity any way you like, whether that is workout gear or flowy clothes and caftans or thongs and pole dancing. There's the range. You can't put femininity in a box, so to speak. So you get to choose whatever your expression is. There are conservatives, there are liberals, there are far right, far left. You got your June cleavers that clutch the pearls, and then you got people that are way on the opposite continuum and feel like the body is nothing to be ashamed of and the pleasure of it should be embraced, and they're very out and proud about that. Mama Gina is one who talks lots about pleasure. She's on platforms, and she wears a lot of teddies, lots of which I love, and I admire her courage and her expression. And she's an older woman, so I really love how she embodies her femininity. Like, she owns it like nothing. She really doesn't care what you think about who she is. She owns her femininity. I admire women who have a sense of femininity that is so strong that they are who they are consistently in all forms. Many of us, because we're not in touch with our femininity, and also because femininity is fluid, right? Some of us, because we're not in touch with our femininity, we allow our environment to define our femininity. Whereas I'm pretty sure some women show up I can't imagine, and I'm using Lizzo as an example because she's pretty courageous with her expression. I can't imagine her showing up as any other way in Lizzo in any other circumstances. You've seen her pictures and you've seen the places that she's had those pictures. She shows up embodying her feminine expression no matter where she shows up. And there are women like that this is my expression, like it or leave it. I'm okay with you leaving it because this is who I am. She's very much in touch with and connected to that. There are other women who, if you see them in different circumstances, their femininity, their expression thereof will change. And that might be for lack of connecting to their femininity. It might also be because femininity in and of itself, the energetic, is very fluid. They felt like, I'm going to a garden party and I want to wear this type of dress, or I'm going to a baseball game and I'm going to wear some athletic gear. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to a football game, I want to wear a jersey. It doesn't really matter. The point is, I'm just pointing out that expression is very different from the energetic. And so any expression that is authentic, that you love, that embodies how you feel, that shows who you really are, is fine. Like there's no right or wrong. I think for a long time, we've been told if you don't have June Cleaver, Clutch Your Pearls, or whomever, like to fill in the blank, I'm just using that as an example, then there's something wrong, that your femininity isn't, you're not really feminine. But they've been talking more about the expression of it, not the embodiment of it. So let's get into that. What is feminine energy? Good question. Anybody have any thoughts, any answers? You can drop it in the comments. Hi, whoever's on, thank you for joining. Always drop your name and where you're watching from so that I know and can give you a shout out. I want to acknowledge people. But anybody have any thoughts around what feminine energy is? And if a man is on here, I'd love to know what men think feminine energy is, because this is a worthy discussion. What happens is we judge each other around it instead of really understanding what it is. And then you can find your expression thereof. But if you're judging one another of it, if you're judging yourself and others in it, that's a judgment, not the embodiment of an expression. So I'd love to know what any man, woman thinks it is. So feminine energy, we all have innate energy in us, right? So there's masculine, feminine, and neutral. Everybody operates on this continuum. Generally speaking, most women operate, 80% of women, like generally in the feminine energetic, most men, 80% or whatever, whatever, those numbers are probably changing now, operate in the masculine. And then you have like the remaining percentage, there's people in the neutral column. I'm making generalizations. Having said that, we all connect to this energy continuum all the time. When I'm at work and I'm delivering on a project, I am delivering, driving for results. Those are masculine traits. I am in a masculine energetic. I am producing, I am achieving, I am accomplishing. Those are very masculine traits. I can do it from an embodiment of a feminine. I can be expressed femininely, right? That feminine expression, and still be in a masculine energetic. So I can wear a dress, right? And makeup and all that. That's my feminine expression, and still be driving for results, accomplishing, getting the thing done, getting the damn thing done, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's an energetic. The energetic that I am is I'm leading this project, and the energetic I'm in is, and we're going to drive it for results. I can also embody a different energetic in a project. I could also embody the energy of collaboration, of creativity in this project, right? Of acceptance, right? All ideas are welcome. So I can toggle between the two, but the push comes from, or the pull comes from, all of that comes from the masculine side of it, right? So that's what I want to stress. It isn't a right, it isn't a wrong. Everybody has them on a continuum. Generally speaking, you choose. One energetic is more dominant in you than others. Now, I know we have a lot of gender fluidity, right? And so if that's you, then disregard what I've said, because there are some people that really, they embody the pronoun they, because they like the expression equally of masculine, feminine energy and want to toggle between the two. Maybe, and their expression would reflect they're moving between the two energies, right? That's not what I'm talking about today, right? I love my anybody in the LGBTQIA community, and I'm not in that community, and I don't feel equipped or qualified to speak on that. So I'm not going to be speaking on that. I'm really talking to people who are of the hetero persuasion and about these energetics. So I want to be very clear about that, because I have the utmost respect for that. And at the same time, I'm not speaking to that group of people. So I don't want them to like read this video and like start blasting me about, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm in both energies and I'm this and I have this. That's not what I'm talking about today. So I just want to be clear about that. Most of my audience is heterosexual. And so this is what I'm talking about it. And then Masculine and feminine energies create sexual polarity, but that's a whole other talk. So feminine energy, what is feminine energy? We all have this energy continuum, masculine, feminine, and neutral. I'm talking about feminine energy today, right? And in contrast to that, we just talked about masculine, and neutral is neutral, right? So feminine energy is attraction and receiving. Masculine is push, pull, right? So I'm going to give you some examples so you can kind of get the sense of what it is and how deeply you're connected to it or not. Feminine energy is lush and radiant. It's all things beautiful. Masculine energy might be things functional, practical, because they're getting their intention is on something else, right? Feminine energy is creative, intuition, it's fluid, it's about flow, it's nourishing versus nurturing, right? It's diffused focus, right? Gathering for women versus linear focus, hunting for men, right? Which you need both, right? Just think about, and this is why I say neither is right or wrong, neither is better or worse. It is okay to lead in one and completely feel comfortable in the other, right? And toggle between the two, right? It's totally okay. I'm just giving you examples so you can understand how to connect to it, because for women, I think it's really important that we connect to our feminine energy. We don't do it enough. We live in a very masculine dominated world. Because of that, we are more connected to our masculine energy, which often trips us up in relationships, in parenting, in being compassionate with our coworkers, because we're not bringing the other parts of the equation to the mix because it's frowned upon, or it's not socially acceptable, it's not easily accessible, because that's not where we spend our time, and that's not where we spend our time in. That's not the energy we spend our time in, all right? The other piece is some other feminine traits: empathy, compassion, acceptance. It's not rational, right? That's that intuitive side. It's, it's not linear, it's more circular. It prioritizes feelings, right? The feminine energy wants to know what you feel. A masculine energy would want to know what you think, right? Feminine energy is collective, right? It's inclusive. Again, think gatherers. The gatherers, women, watched kids, and you can't watch kids if you can't have your eye on multiple things at a time, right? Flexible and spontaneous. So these are just to give you some examples of the differences between masculine and feminine energy. It's important to make the distinction so you know where you are at any time. And the other reason it's important to make the distinction is because you also want to know what you need to feed yourself. So I notice sometimes in my work, I get really bored or discontent if I don't get to bring creativity to it. So when I'm in a creative mode, I am in flow more. I feel better. I feel more expanded, more grounded, more myself, because I'm in that energetic, and that's my natural energetic. When I'm doing linear, like check the boxes, just getting the things done, driving for completion, I can do those things. That's not a big deal. I don't necessarily feel great about those things. I don't feel like I'm in a natural style about those things. The other thing about if you spend too much time as a woman in these energetics is you get brittle. So one of the things I noticed about myself too is if I'm always spending, and no shame about this, the world is very masculine. I'm not a judgment. It's a part of our evolution on the planet. So I'm not trying to throw shade and man hate. That's not what this is about. We live in a patriarchal, masculine society. Business is masculine. The United States is a capitalistic country, which is about business, innovation, changing. What have you done for me lately? You are only as good as your last accomplishment. That is masculine. That is about driving. It is about results. It is about achievement. That is what it's about, right? That's the world. When we go and handle stuff, it's about, I want to get this done. When you go about your day, what do we do? Task list, to-do list. How many coaches coach productivity, high performance, right? All of these things are about achieving. Now, having said that, woven into some of these programs are also about living your best life. That's a completely different energetic. Marrying the two, because they realized people have both sides of the coin and both sides are equally important. And as the pandemic showed us, we spent a lot of time working on the one side, driving, and then not a lot of time on the other side. That's all the issues coming up now about well-being. Well-being is about honoring the whole person. Well, that's in the feminine arena. You can't expect to drive and not take care of your health and not have nurture your intellectual and mental faculties, not nurture your relationships, right? And nourish your relationships, not take care of your body physically, mentally, and emotionally, right? Not have compassion for others in your family, in your social circle. All of these are equally important. We just didn't put a spotlight on it. There hasn't been a lot of attention on it. Now there's a lot of attention on all the qualities in this other energetic, which I think is great. I think that's a wonderful part of, that's where we are in our human evolution track, I guess, or on our human evolution journey, is finally realizing that people aren't one thing or on one continuum, that there's a fluid continuum, and we should honor the whole. When we honor the whole person, we honor all of the energies within, and we acknowledge that this is a way for people to feel whole and be a contribution at the level of their best self. So today, as we're talking about feminine energy, I bring this up because the world is so masculine. So many women don't really get to connect to this energy. And when we have in the past, it's been frowned upon, especially in corporate America. So like maybe if you're a teacher, a little bit different. That environment is very nurturing. So you get to ask little Johnny how he feels and prioritize feelings in the lunchroom and be compassionate and take a stand for equal rights and these kids and them being treated fairly and their education and honoring the whole person and understanding that Jimmy isn't doing well in school because he's got problems at home. It's not just about Jimmy's grades and driving and performing. It's also about Jimmy's well-being. In that environment, you can be very connected to your feminine energy because it's a very, like the premise is you're nurturing and educating young people. And so in those environments, some environments, yeah. But at the end of the day, there's still results. These kids still have to pass these tests. You still have to run a classroom. Administrators have goals and objectives for the school that they have to meet for the district. Schools are funded based on how well they're doing and how well they're performing. So it's not the absence of the masculine. It's just that the day-to-day looks more feminine. So that's an example of that. Whereas if you work in corporate America, it doesn't. Nobody's asking you how you feel about something. Nobody wants to talk about your home life overly. Nobody is saying, you know what, this is really a good idea, Ivy. Why don't you tell me how you feel about that and how you came with it? Like nobody cares. Like it's not that's not the world we live in. And because of that, if that's where you spend most of your time, you may have, as a woman, lost touch with the feminine energetic, with the essence of the energy, because you're just not in it. And especially if you're going through divorce or transition of life, any transition, career, whatever, you are now in the driving for results mode. You need a new job, that you're pushing for a result. You're getting a divorce. So now your mind is, I've got to be the provider. I've got to be the protector. I got to run this household. And so you may, for survival reasons, put all the feminine energy pieces, the compassion, the intuition, the creativity, the play on the back burner, because the survival, the protection of your children is at stake. And in particular, if you don't have a very good co-parenting relationship where there's a partner and you can still rely on your partner for those things in the aftermath of divorce, then what's happening is you're becoming both masculine and feminine, the default tends to be, I find in divorced women, is going toward the masculine, because for survival purposes, you got to work. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your kids. You got to put a roof over your head. And your environment, typically, if you have a job, is masculine. So you spend 8 hours or more in this masculine energy at work. You come home and then you're running your house. You spend more time in that masculine energy. Where is there space for this feminine energy to be expressed and to thrive? There's not a lot of it. So I find that that's very typical of women going through divorce. So what do we do to connect to that, right? If that's your essence. And by the way, if you discovered that you really enjoy the masculine essence, like who you are as a person, as a woman, is like, I like driving. I like accomplishing. I like doing the results thing. This is really who I am. Then that's just who you are. Again, like I don't have any skin in the game about the gender fluidity conversation. I'm just pointing out what's available. If that's your essence, like I said, 80%, again, you can, these numbers are like, I'm making very broad stroked generalizations. It's 80% of women, their natural essence is feminine. But if that isn't you and it's masculine, then you would thrive, feel better, be more comfortable in the other energetic, in the masculine energetic. More power to you. I'm talking to my girls that are like my ladies, my divas, my queens that know I do this because I have to, but when I have the chance, or as I look into myself, it doesn't feel good. I'm always depleted. This is how you know it's like not you. I don't feel enlivened. I don't feel radiant. I don't feel good. I don't feel connected to myself. I'm very accomplished, but it's not, I don't feel empowered or wonderful about it. I feel like there's something missing. There's a gap, and I can't put my finger on what it is. That's the connection to the feminine energy. It likely means that your essence isn't masculine, it's feminine, and you're craving, it's like I was craving wanting to be in my feminine more, wanting to lead from my feminine, wanting to engage from my feminine, wanting my expression to be more in my feminine, whatever that was, and wanting the ability to play in that. So I like business suits, right? And back in the day, I can remember, I love professional clothes. But I always admired the women that wore those professional clothes that were really uber feminine. Like, where did they get these things, right? Because all I knew when I was getting into that, graduating college, was this, the stad business suits. I mean, you could wear some kind of nice stuff, and I came out and started in banking. That was super conservative, very masculine. They were not into anything other than like taupe and black and navy, and you couldn't, if you saw a woman with a pretty colored blouse, she's pretty, high up in the ranks or pretty low in the ranks, right? It was one or the other. There wasn't like a lot of embracing of feminine expression in banking back in that day. And I did a couple tours of duties in banking, and it hadn't changed much in a lot of years. It's still that way. It's still a very conservative. When I was there, and that was years ago, I don't know what it's like now, but it was a very conservative business. So that's just a good example. So what I want to encourage you to do is to connect to your femininity. How do you do that? Well, one of the best ways to connect to your femininity is to connect to your body. So I have like 7 or 8, what I call them as femininity factors, where these factors allow you the ability to connect deeply to your feminine energy. The first one, and you've probably seen me talk about it, is called Fem Factor Fit. Fem Factor Fit is not just about exercising. It's about connecting to the aspects of yourself, the aspects of your femininity that you want to be whole, fit, and well. So I always say those are your physical, your mental, your emotional, right? You want to connect to your body. That is one of, bar none, the best ways to get in touch with this energy. As I've said, femininity is flow. It's fluidity, right? It's it is the mind-body connection. It's tuning in, it's intuition, it's knowing what you need. You can't do that if there isn't a mind-body-spirit connection. You can't do that. And so I love exercise as a way to do that. It's a way for, if you choose to use it as it's a tool, you can do it many other ways to get in touch with your body for femininity. You can do it through body work, Reiki, massage, breathing yoga, networking. You can do it through anything that connects your mind, body, spirit, and emotion, anything that connects that those things to you, so you can feel them in totality. That's going to get you into your femininity. Why? Because it's going to fuel your intuition. Your body is talking to you all the time. It's one of probably the best. So human beings are perfect communicators. It doesn't seem like that because we're always talking about communication and how the number one trait that I always see people, I want somebody who communicates well in relationships, right? The number one thing people ask for on a resume, we want somebody who's a good communicator. You hire somebody, I want somebody that's good verbal and written communication skills. You talk about family dynamics. Yeah, I know, but they're not such a great communicator. I wish I could communicate better with my kids, with my husband. Like, it's all over the place. It's all over our lives, communication. We actually are communicating all the time, all the time, all the time. All of us are communicating all the time. The degree to which we are in tune with it in ourselves impacts the degree to which we are in tune with it with others. If you can't hear your own intuition, if you can't listen to your own body wisdom, if you can't honor your own emotional continuum, if you can't hear when your spirit or your soul longs for something and is asking you to run off and do the thing that you've longed to do, how are you going to be able to listen and hear that when others are communicating that to you? You're not in touch with what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it sounds like, what it looks like embodied. You're not in touch with it because you don't embody it. You're not connected to it to yourselves. We don't know what we don't know. We tend to project onto others, right, our own personal experiences, because that's the realm of our experience. The deeper your realm of experience is with yourself and your own emotional continuum, the better you're going to be with communicating with others. Why? Because your range of what is possible or what is being communicated expands exponentially. So think about this. When you finally understood what flirting was when you were a kid, right? So you're a kid and or preteen, like it probably happened somewhere around preteen, and everybody's telling you maybe some guy or some girl really likes you, right? And you don't get it. And you don't get it because you've never liked anybody enough to display those traits. So it just seems weird that Johnny or Jane is, when you look up, they're always there. They're not always there because they're always there and you guys are in the same class. They're always there because there's some level of attraction there, or they're flirting with you. They're trying to get in proximity to you. And your experience of it is they're always there, like a parent or brother. They're just always around. Why? You're not in touch with the part of you that understands that people are around you in many cases because they have some type of, they want or have a connection to you. And that's why they're there, but you're not in touch with that. So what you think is, I don't know why Jane is always here. That's what I always say. Like, if you notice people orbiting you, there's a reason they're orbiting you. They're not orbiting you for grins and giggles. There's a reason, there's some connection. They want to get to know you. They want to talk to you or something, right? And again, I'm generalizing here. So it's sometimes we're not in touch with the pieces of we're not in touch with, we're not able to communicate with other people because we don't communicate well with ourselves on the same topics. So I'm using flirting as an example because I find when people flirt with people who do not flirt, they do not recognize flirtation in the other person. They don't know what it looks like. They don't understand it. They just keep thinking this person is always around them, and it's not clicking to them because they don't flirt. They're not in touch with whatever that flirtatious, playful thing is within themselves. I've seen this so many times in so many women. Like, I see it more in men, actually. I used to coach men, and I see it more in men, where a man would be like, I don't think she likes me. And I'd be like, you just missed all these cues. She played with her hair. She smiled. She giggled. She's been around you like for the past 15 minutes. She has walked past here like 3 times. Like, she is totally like, she's trying to get your attention, but it's very subtle. She keeps making comments. She's laughing at your jokes. Like, she's doing lots. And the guy is like, really? Like, not there. So again, if you don't recognize it in yourself, it's really hard to connect to it in other people. Hence, a lot of the differences between men and women, right? Men don't think about things or experience things the way women do. So we each make judgments about the other's experience instead of trying to understand what that experience is like. And even if you don't get it, I'm not saying that you have to get everything. The more you can connect to it in yourself, the more you will understand it. Even if you don't recognize it, you could be like, yeah, when I get confronted, I suppress. But when my partner gets confronted, he expresses. But it's still about confrontation. I know that because I know what it looks like when I'm confronted. I see the signs. I feel the nervousness. I feel this. I understand what that is. I know confrontation, right? That how you deal with it is completely different. That's the idea, to get in touch with this intuitive mind-body connection. And the more you do that, you get into your body, the more things will be revealed to you about yourself, which then lets you be a better communicator, get better connected to the people that you love in your life, because you're connecting to the energy that's telling you about yourself. This is this intuition. That's why I like to work out. It also allows you to release. It also allows you to relax. It also allows you to refresh. All things in the feminine, right? The more you connect to your body and you get fit, you're being physical, whatever that looks like to you. You know, I had a stretch session yesterday. And she was telling me where tension was, but I didn't notice the tension because those places are always tense. And I didn't notice it until she started, and then some places she didn't tell me tension was, and she was like, so I want you to just share with me what you're feeling as I'm massaging these different parts. And there were places that I so tight, didn't know that how tight that they were until she started poking around in them, which now gives me more information to practice releasing and doing more work on those parts and nourishing and nurturing myself. Again, feeding that mind-body connection. Now I'm more aware of it. And the place that was tight was middle back, which also explains why my neck is tight, because my neck is compensating for the middle back, because I'm always doing what I'm doing now. It's like over this computer, like rounding over a computer. That's the point. The more I can connect to this this mind body, I'm able to nurture and nourish myself, my energy, and take care. And that's what the feminine is all about, nourishing. But it starts with yourself. How are you going to nourish anything in your life so that it flourishes if you don't have the energy to do it for yourself? That's why I always start with Fem Factor Fit. If you are not fit physically, which is about your energy and stamina, right? Your ability to really, it's about your stamina and the energy of as in, not an energetic, but like fuel. How much energy do you have to actually move in your life and do things, right? So that's the premise of it. The Fem Factor Fit also encompasses mental energy. That really is about stamina. If you aren't well, you will not have the stamina. You can't play the long game. The long game means you're not suffering from anything that is mentally holding you back, depression, anxiety, bipolar disease. You are mentally well. those things challenge you to play the long game. And I'm not saying they can't be overcome. They can be with medication, support, and therapy. Or even stress is another mental game that we play with ourselves. It takes away, it erodes your ability to play the long game because you just wear out. You'll have an anxiety attack because of things coming at you if you don't have good things in place around being mentally fit. If you are prone to depression, and none of these are bad, what will happen is you'll just lose steam, right? You will lose energy and then hide because it's just too overwhelming for you. If you've got something like a bipolar disorder where you're either in mania or you're depressed, you're flip-flopping. Again, nothing is wrong with any of these, but to be mentally well means I'm taking care of whatever I got: stress, ADHD, bipolar disease, anxiety, depression. There's a whole list of them. I'm not going to go through them. I honor where I am. I'm connected to myself. I know what I need. I give myself what I need so I can have the stamina to play the long game. And that takes connection, because what happens is when you're not connected to yourself and your well-being and you're not mentally fit, your ability to move forward in life is just eroded. You can't do it. You can't get out of bed. You can't make good decisions. You're not connected to what you really need because you're dealing with the mental challenges that you have, right? Your well-being is not in such a place that you can actually play the long game. It's painful for you to play the long game, and you need to stop, pause, and take care of yourself. That's what the feminine would do. The feminine would be like, this isn't working. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on pause, and I'm going to take and do whatever it takes so that I am well. I'm not going to push through it, suppress it, not deal with it until it either debilitates me or I'm like not functioning, like I'm really like at a very low level of functioning. What I'm going to do is connect to myself. I know what I need. I need good food. I need a therapy session. I need to go to a 12-step meeting. I need to be around my family. I need to take a vacation and have a mental unplug. I need to do that. The feminine would nourish, nurture, have compassion for oneself, and do whatever it takes to be well so you can play the long game. It wouldn't push through, suppress it, deny it, and just, be the linear thought, like I just need to do what's on the other side. That's the difference. And then the final one is the emotional. So the feminine honors feelings. The feminine wants to be compassionate with where it is. The feminine in you would want to say, you're feeling sad today. I honor your sadness. Let's journal about that. Let's talk about that. Let's move through it. If you're noticing the trend, the idea is you're moving through something. You're not letting it stop you. So it's just a different way. Whereas the masculine pushes through it, the feminine feels through it and is compassionate with it. It's just a different way. Like it's not better or worse. It's just a different modality. The feminine would honor where you are, the feminine in you, right? We're talking about you. You would connect to it. You'd understand you were sad, mad, glad, whatever it was that you needed support for, whatever mental challenges you had going on, stress, anxiety, depression, whatever was going on. Physically, that you had a lot of trapped, stuck energy, that you didn't physically feel like energetically good, strong, healthy, well, that you're feeling depleted, tired, sleepy. And then what the feminine energetic does, and though on that continuum, is it gives you nourishment. It nourishes you. If you have this really great mind, body, spirit, emotional connected, this fem factor fit, as I like to call it, to encompass all that, when you need to work out, you'll be connected and you'll work out. If you need a massage, you'll get a massage. If you need a walk, you'll give yourself a walk because you're connected. If you need support, you'll call a counselor, you'll call a coach, you'll go to a meeting. If you need to change your meds, you'll change your meds. if you need to explore something because potentially maybe it's something you don't know. If it's stress, you'll take a vacation. The feminine will nourish whatever that is so that it flourishes, so that it can blossom. That's what the feminine is going to do. If it's emotional, you'll find a way to express it in a healthy way so that you move through it. You're not holding on to it. The feminine is really all about the fluidity of that. It's not going to stop any of that. It's not going to push it. It's not going to try to pull it out of you. It's going to be very fluid and allow it to naturally evolve. And as it shows up, it will honor where you are with compassion. It will allow you to be expressed and honor the expression thereof. And then you're going to move through it on the other side. It's just a very different way. I love being in the feminine energetic. I love it. I love it because I get to honor who I am, the totality of who I am, in a very meaningful way to me. So am I saying that there are times when you're not going to have to push through? If you're at work and you're on a major project and you have a presentation and what's coming up is nervousness or frustration or anxiety, and you're going to have to get a hold of yourself so that you don't jeopardize your job. That's being in the masculine. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also bring an element of the feminine to it too. You could be like, I'm anxious. I'm going to take 1 minute and I'm going to just breathe so I can connect to myself and breathe and let myself calm down because I got this project because I can do it. I wouldn't be making this presentation if I wasn't qualified. You see how that just a different, it's not like a push, you're going to do it. So you're going to push through it, but there's a different way. You'd be bringing an element of self-compassion. You'd be honoring where you were. You've given yourself a technique to calm down. You're going to breathe. And then you've supported yourself with positive affirmation. That's what the feminine does. It's just a different way of managing life. So I encourage everybody to take the time to connect to this energy physically. Physically is it's an easy go-to. It's an easy go-to. Get into your body, take a bath, take a walk, delight your senses, right? See something lush, see something lovely, listen to good music, put on some smell good, I call it, some lovely lotion, perfume, take a shower with some really nice body wash. I just did one of my favorite body washes from European Wax Center, EWC, on there. Do something to honor the body, like connect to the body. What would feel good, feel energizing, enliven, engage the body? This is the first tenet, what I call Fem Factor Fit. It's anything that would enliven this, all of this. Feel good, smell good, taste good, sound good, energetically move your limbs, be touched, be hugged, be loved, get a massage, get a mani-pedi, visually look at something beautiful, make something beautiful, and then so that you can appreciate it, connect to the feminine energetic of being fit in the body, connect to the body. That is one of the easiest ways to get into it. And then feel whatever you're feeling. The feminine is in its feelings. So feel the pleasure of looking at something beautiful. Feel the pleasure of listening to good music. Feel how the music makes you bop or sway, right? Or just, right? Depending on what you're listening to, right? Smell the perfume. How does it make you feel? Sensual, sexy, playful, delightful? Does it take you back and give you a good memory? Taste the food. Actually, chew it. Feel the chocolate melt on your tongue. Taste the deliciousness of the coffee. Smell it. Savor it. Right? You want to taste it. Listen to, there's a bitterness on the back of my tongue, the sweet on the taste buds to the side from the little hint of vanilla. There's a little cinnamon in here I can smell from the coffee. Taste it. How many things can you name, flavors can you call out in something? Wear something that feels delicious. Sit under a weight. It's cold today in the DMV. Sit under a weighted blanket, right? Get a soft, like Sherpa blanket and wrap it around. Wrap it, get some really comfortable shoes or soft leggings and put those on. Delight your senses. I love dance fitness because it gets me into my body. Absolutely love it. Feel your hips sway to the music. Feel where, as you're working out, notice what's tight, what's not tight, right? Is it your neck? Is it your back? Is it your shoulders? Is it your hips? Is it your feet? And then treat yourself to something for that. If it's your feet, you can go get a mani-pedi or just sign up for a foot massage or a leg massage. Get some reflexology, right? Done. If it's your back, go get a massage, right? If it's your hips, zero balancing. They have this way of doing that. If it's your neck or head, do some cranial sacral work. If it's your energy, you just feel your energy is off, go get a Reiki session or do acupuncture, right? If you're like, I don't want to do any of these, I'm kind of old school, take a walk in a park, stretch yourself, do a stretch session. Google on YouTube stretching or mobility stretches, do something like that. Put on some music and teach yourself the latest TikTok dance. Get into and feel the deliciousness of your body. It will connect you to this divine energy of femininity, this fluidity. It will allow you to feel it. And when you feel it. I don't mean put on some music and just like dance. I mean, if you have to, close your eyes, feel the music. Feel the energy of the music in your body. Feel your body responding to the energy. Like this is getting into the energetic. The femininity is a feeling energy. If you're not connecting your feelings or feeling the energy of whatever you're doing as it moves and allowing it to, pleasure is a huge part of femininity, to bring you pleasure, joy, enliven you, make you enhance your radiance, then you're missing the mark. Then you're just doing a dance, you're just eating a meal, you're just looking at the garden, you're not connecting to the energetic. The femininity is really about connecting to the pleasure, the loveliness, the joy, the energetic of the fluidity of that energy that's flowing through you, such that you are lit up by it, right? It's not just listening to music and I did a workout and I crushed it and my muscles look good. No, you should leave the workout, if you're really connecting to it, feeling nourished and filled up. Like that workout, whatever it was, that Reiki, massage, mani-pedi, whatever, walk, whatever physical thing you're doing was exactly what I needed. And it felt so good. And now I feel so good. And if someone saw you, it would be like the lights are on. They would notice immediately. That's what the energetic is about. It bubbles up in you, and then you become radiant because you are literally feeding your essence so that you are lit up from the inside out. And the best way, that one of the first ways, there's numerable ways, but one of the easiest, I think, is to do it through movement. It's because it's an easy access point and you're going to be moving. So you're going to be feeling things as you move. And if you just pause and take a moment and connect to what those feelings are coming up, you will be instantly, it propels you into your feminine energy, because it takes you connecting to, the minute you connect to how it feels in you, now you're on the feminine energy side. You're in your feeling, you're in your flow, you're in the intuition. Now it's all in there. Now, for some of us, if this has been a long time, you haven't done it in a while, or you spend 2/3 of your time in masculine, it might be a reach. You might go and do, like, this is why I do Zumba, because it gets me into that feeling and connected to my body. So for some of you, you might take a class, dance, music. You're like, I didn't really feel anything. I didn't feel any particular joy. I didn't feel anything. That's okay. The feminine is playful. You get to play with it, right? You get to figure out what that is for you. I like Zumba. For some people, it's a bar class. For some people, it's a bath. For some people, it's a walk. For some people, it's a forest bath. They go walk in the woods and just take in all the lush nature. Every woman is different. The beauty of the physical, of the Femme Factor Fit, the joy of it is it's not a one size fits all. It gets to be whatever you need it to be for you to connect to yourself physically and feel enlivened, lit up, turned on from the inside out. And you get to choose. And it doesn't have to be what I do or any woman does. Some women do lots of things you can read about. Lots of women will tell you what their beauty rituals are, how they work out, what they do to relax and unwind. Try them. Spend this week connecting. I'll give you a little bit of homework, and I'd love for people to post on this. Spend this week connecting physically to the feminine energy. Play with it. Is it dance? Is it music? Is it a massage? Is it Reiki? Is it reflexology? Is it a forest bath? What is it? What is it physically that drops you into this energy and suddenly you are like so lit up, so lit up? And confirmation would be when somebody goes, you look really good today. You've done nothing different. Hair's the same, outfit's the same, but they go, I don't know, something about you today. You look different. That's that radiance. That's you being lit up from the inside out and radiating this feminine essence in a way that is natural and uniquely you. It is what really, when they talk about the face that launches 1,000 ships and Cleopatra and all this, those women were in touch with that. They knew what their feminine essence was, and they were working it. And anybody that was in their presence was almost mesmerized or captivated by it. And, there are some women like that now where you're like, I don't know what it is about that person, but like she comes in and she just commands a room. She's in touch with her feminine essence. Right. And you see it in men too. You're like, he's got such a commanding presence. I don't know what it is, but man, that guy could lead me anywhere. Right. They're in touch with the essence that makes them uniquely masculine or uniquely feminine. So the more you get in touch with that essence, you'll see people will reflect it back to you because your natural ability, your natural radiance, your natural light, your natural beauty is going to be enhanced. And I'm not talking about hair, makeup, and nails. I'm talking about this energy essence that people, and you hear it on people who's like, I don't know. I dig her energy. That's what that is. I dig it. It's you being in touch with the essence of you such that it is expressed in a natural way, and it is immensely attractive. It is, I cannot tell you how attractive it is to the opposite sex, on both ends. If a man is uniquely into his masculine energetic and is very expressed around it, it is incredibly attractive, right? You can't help but want to be in their presence. It is the same for women. So, Femme Factor Fit, get in touch with your physicality. Like, get in touch with it. Enliven, play with your 5 senses. Do things that boister, like connect you to your 5 senses. This is all your physicality. Do things that connect you to your body in totality. Your taste buds, your ears, your scent, your nose, your sight, touch, your hands. Do things that connect you, that bring you so when I say connect, I don't mean touch a hot stove, like that's going to connect you, but that's not pleasurable. Do things that you think will feel good, pleasurable, or bring you joy. Connect to that. Feel the joy, feel the pleasure, enjoy it, savor it, embrace it, let it like permeate and like just totally wash over you. That's your feminine energy. Be in it, enjoy it, right? Play with it. That's your homework for the week. All right. So would love your thoughts and feelings on this. I know this was super early for some people. It's 9:03. I'm off to do my workout in reverse order, finish my coffee, do my workouts. I will be back next week at 8 a.m. same time. We will be talking about still the Fem Factor Fit. We're going to talk about it, the mental. Then we're going to talk about the following week, get into the femininity aspect of the emotional, which I know is going to be really kind of cool because that's our people like, women are so emotional. Nah, we're not. We're actually not. We're just, we're more expressed. We're not any more or less emotional than men. We're more expressed than the masculine. That's it. Men feel the same things. They just don't connect to it in the same way. So the emotional one should be fun. All right. So next week, 8 a.m. February is all things femininity, right? Or feminine energy. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about morning rituals. This is one of my favorite. So Tuesday, but this will be done inside of the NAS.io group. So if you are not a part of the group, join the group. It's going to be on a Zoom. I would love to have people come on the Zoom, ask me questions, share things about their morning ritual. I'm looking forward to it. There'll be a post up so you can sign up for it. We'll be doing that Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. So I look forward to seeing you then and there. Keep checking out the page because there's lots of little other things coming up, little tidbits coming up on all things femininity. So I look forward to seeing you around the group, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Facebook group. Enjoy your day. Indulge yourself today. Indulge your physicality today. Connect to yourself and your feminine energy from a physical perspective today. And enjoy yourself. Let it just wash over you. Let the pleasure, the joy, the fun, the play, the laughter wash over you today. And then let me know how you're feeling, how connected you're feeling to the energy. I can't wait to hear your feedback on this. All right. I love you guys. Have a great Saturday today. Have a sensational Saturday. Celebrate you today. Celebrate your wins today. Drop in the comments, any of you who watch this, how did you connect to your feminine energy? What felt like a win today? I would love to hear back from you. All right. Take care. And I will see you next week.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world.